know in advance so that we can suspend the recording for you. But the whole meeting is recorded, and
No worries.
it then goes up on our YouTube channel.
All right, no problem.
Okay, so we are starting, everyone, and welcome to the 66th meeting of Quantum Leap Advanced Toastmasters Club. For those of you joining for the first time, this is, first of all, an advanced club. It was founded. Now, this is the 66th meeting, so it was founded fortnightly, more than 2 years ago. And it is a theme club, so its main purpose is to, of course, its main purpose is the purpose of all Toastmasters Club, which is to build communication and leadership skills with its members. But its additional purpose is to reignite scientific curiosity and celebrate scientific knowledge. And that is the title and the main purpose of this club. We are privileged to have two guests with us. Of course, one of them needs no introduction, but I will ask him to introduce himself. DTM Sarfaraz. He has, of course, he's an active and vibrant part of our community in any way, but today he has special privileges because he has been officially appointed the club coach of Quantum Leap Advanced, and we couldn't be happier about it. So, sir, please reintroduce yourself as club coach.
Thank you, DTM Talha bin Hamid. I am the immediate past president of Karachi Toastmasters Club. And as DTM Talha mentioned, I've recently been appointed the club coach for Quantum Leap. And I look forward to working with the officers and members of this club in order to make it, I consider it a successful club. But we'll work together to make it even a great advanced club. It has many unique features to it that I don't find in many other advanced clubs around the world. So we will be highlighting our uniqueness. And it's so good to see some familiar faces, DTM Safari Sheikh and DTM Iram Rizvi. And I'm so glad to have our young future Toastmaster online with us. Back to you, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much, sir. Of course, it has been a major success story. I believe the biggest success that Quantum Leap has had is the keynotes that we've hosted and the panel discussions that we have hosted, and one we'll host today as well. And the kind of people that are associated with this club, they participated in its founding, and many of them are still associated with it. The only major improvement area that I see has been a perennial issue, which is the issue of attendance. We believe that the kind of content this club generates should be witnessed and appreciated by far more people, because elsewhere in the Toastmasters world, we see so many meetings happening, and they have 50, 60, 70 participants. And honestly, for the life of me, I don't understand what those 50, 60 participants are doing in a very ordinary meeting that has nothing additional or nothing value added to teach anyone. It's just a routine meeting. Half of the time is spent celebrating the ones who actually arranged the meeting, thanks to the Toastmasters protocol of introducing everyone. So I'm not, of course, more power to them. But in stark contrast, clubs like this, I believe, need more attention. And we couldn't be more honored to have you as our club coach. So we have our Toastmaster Irfan Qureshi, who is the president of Rawalpindi Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Irfan, please introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster DTM Talha bin Hamid. My name is Irfan Qureshi, and I'm serving as a president in Rawalpindi Toastmaster Club. To joining this meeting to learn things from experienced Toastmasters like DTM Miriam Rizvi, DTM Surprise Nazir, like DTM Saf Sheikhs, and I'm very excited to learn things from you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. It's always a privilege to have you in a meeting. We'd like to also request Mr. Farhan Gauri to introduce himself and also his son. Mr. Farhan, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Farhan Gauri, and I am today with my son Muhammad Ibrahim Gauri, and he is now learning. Nowadays, he is learning Quran Pak, and he started from Qaida, and he progressed very quickly towards 30th para, and he has a lot of interest in Husn Qiraat. So he's only 6 years old. So it is his first time to do Qiraat publicly.
Great, great. We'll hear from Ibrahim very soon, inshallah. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Toastmaster Sumaya, who's just joined us. Please introduce yourself. She's one of our speakers today.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sumaya Batul and I am from Rawalpindi, Pakistan. I joined Toastmasters about 2 to 3 months ago, and I'm learning. My major goal is to improve my self-confidence and to eliminate that stage fear and to speak every time in front of new people. So this is a challenge to me. I come out of my comfort zone in every meeting and take the challenge. So that's about me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sumaya. You just asked for ID and password. Actually, we have just the registration link. So you can just pass it on to anyone who wishes to join, and they will be able to join right immediately without having to wait for a name. Okay.
Okay, actually, I have to join from my laptop. For that, I need a.
Oh, okay. So I can. Do you have WhatsApp on your laptop?
Yes, I have my WhatsApp, but
So if
update
you,
नहीं है तो उसमें मुझे latest messages receive नहीं हो रहे तो issue आ रहा है.
Acha. Okay, so if you can just share your email, I can email the link to you. You can put it in the chat box maybe. And that way, I think it will be easy for you to open on your laptop, right? Is that okay?
Yes, I have joined from my laptop.
Okay, you have joined. Okay, fine. Great, great, great. Great. So we have covered all the guests, and now we start the meeting. Our meeting has 3 segments. In fact, I don't know, we have a lot of segments, but we start with a keynote or a panel discussion, which we'll start today. After that, we have prepared speeches and our signature world-exclusive modular evaluation method. And after that, we'll have table topics and, of course, then we'll have journal evaluation. But sprinkled among all these things are geeky things. For example, we'll have a segment called Geek of the Week. And in that segment, every week, something is highlighted that is worth exploring, worth investigating into, and worth discovering. It can be a book or a movie or anything related to the theme of this club. So without further ado, we'll start. And today's theme is Rise of the Machines. In fact, our panel discussion also is very much related to that theme. If you can give me about 10 seconds, let me just shift. All right, everyone. So today's theme is Rise of the Machines. And the major reason was a discussion I recently had with a friend. He's actually a chartered accountant, but he's currently doing executive MBA. And in his particular flavor of executive MBA, there are, of course, marketing subjects, but there are a lot of IT related subjects, including AI, Python programming, and such. He told me yesterday that they had an assignment to submit. And that assignment was actually supposed to be a thoroughly researched article on the topic, along with references. And a whole group of people was supposed to work on that assignment. So what they did was they asked ChatGPT to generate that article. That article was sent to the group, and everybody loved that article. But then one of the members asked that, okay, but where are the citations for this article? My friend asked ChatGPT for citations, and the list of citations was even longer than the article itself. So they added those citations and they submitted. Why is that worrying? Can anyone tell me? DTM Sarfraz, why does that worry you? Or why should that worry you?
Yeah, basically, with this problem, we have a far larger problem in upcoming in future, that people will lose efforts. They will not try any effort to to learn anything. And it will reduce overall effort and overall capabilities of everybody. Nobody will try to learn and be trained for anything.
Well, precisely because the reason we study or the reason that we attend courses is not to have a piece of paper or a PDF certificate. The primary purpose, just like what we do in Toastmasters, the purpose of making a speech is first and foremost to learn and improve our skills. Similarly, any intellectual pursuit, anything we do should lead to personal development and ideally also slightly improve the world around us. But in this scenario, that entire process was bypassed. The article was generated, the references were generated, and nothing actually made it to the brains of the people who were supposed to be doing that assignment. And that is what is scary. It is as if machines are doing everything. And you know what? Very soon, at the other end, a human will not be reading those articles. Actually, a machine will be reading those articles and marking them and evaluating them. So essentially, it will be machines talking to machines. And some of that has actually happened even when you don't know it. The internet is full of AI generated content now, and you don't know. You just think that humans are writing all that stuff, but they're not. And when you do an internet search, or when you ask ChatGPT to dig something out or to give you an answer, what is it doing? It is actually using its machine learning to trawl through machine generated and human generated content on the internet. and the proportion of machine-generated content is rising day by day. If you don't believe me, look at your Google feed right now. Right now. There are so many articles that are clearly fictitious. For example, recently I came across an article that actually talked about a new Samsung phone that was coming with a 10,400 mAh battery. And how did I know it was fictitious? Because no such thing exists. And such things cannot exist. Why? Because only power banks have that kind of capacity. And attaching a power bank to a phone does not make sense. A very few specialized Chinese manufacturers do that, not the mainstream competitors like Apple and Samsung. And that was just one of the first many fictitious articles that I received. You see a lot of reviews. I see even on a site like Park Wheels, which is kind of a credible site covering Pakistani automotive sector. There are so many reviews now that are clearly AI generated, or even worse, they're written by absolutely dumb people, or teenagers or Gen Zers. How can you tell? Because they're stupidly written. Slang is used, arguments are repeated, and there's very little factual content. So that's the world we are living in, where machines are starting to talk to machines, and what will become of us, the humans? If anyone has seen The Matrix, in that movie, humans were being used as batteries that power the machines. So who knows what is coming? With that thought, let us pray that that doesn't happen, at least within our lifetimes. And as a part of that, we'll have Mr. Ibrahim Gauri reciting from the Holy Quran. So, Ibrahim, what will you be reciting?
I'm
reciting Quran.
Which verse?
Which surat?
Okay, please start.
Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث آمين.
Jazakallah, very well done, and honored to witness that. Congratulations. Now we will move on to the first segment, but before that, we need a language evaluator. So, Toastmaster Imran, I know you are at work, but would you be able to perform this duty to the extent possible?
Not possible.
Sorry? That's
No,
possible. Thank
not
you so
possible.
much.
Not possible.
All right. Would anyone else volunteer to be language evaluator?
I'll do it, DTM Tala.
Okay, DT Amiram. What other roles do you have? We have table topics master. Yeah. And also lead evaluator. Anyhow, okay.
Do we
You know,
have a panelist with us? Toastmaster Mubin.
we have two of the three panelists. So Toastmaster Mubina has not joined yet. I have sent her a reminder. She has read the message, so she must be joining any minute. So, Toastmaster DK Miriam, would you like to introduce your role in the meantime?
Assalamu alaikum, good morning, everyone, and good evening, DTM Sarfaraz. So, as a language evaluator, I'm going to focus on the language that's been used today in the tone of grammar and vocabulary. Anything that sounds good, looks good, and could be better. My focus would be not to be a police out there, but to learn along. So, I actually welcome everyone that if you have any verses that you really liked, feel free to put it up on the chat and become a bit of a language evaluator today. So I'm also supposed to share word of the day. I'm going to go ahead with something that's on top of the mind and goes with the theme savvy. Savvy is new. Savvy is something that millennials have brought in. So somewhere in the middle. And savvy means to be techie, to be expert in something which is slightly related to tech, which I feel we are going to lose up when we trust too much on machines. So we will no longer be savvies. We will only be calling ourselves one, but not feeling like one. So please feel free to use it in the sentences, in the panel talk, in your theme of the day, or also in table topics if you get a chance. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, DT Miriam. And before moving on, a brief interlude to recap the minutes of the last meeting. I think we should make an attempt to follow the parliamentary procedures to the extent possible. So last meeting's theme was the 100th anniversary of Toastmasters and all about how Toastmasters is the ultimate expression of geekiness. And it hosted a keynote by our own DTM Iram Rizvi, who made a superb keynote address connecting everything that is taught in Toastmasters and why is it the ultimate skill to learn. There were two speakers, DTM Ajay and myself, and the table topics were hosted by DTM Ajay. TMOD was DTM Saf, and the winners were best speakers went to myself, best evaluator DTM Mira, best modular evaluators for the tie between DTM Swarna and DTM Arvind, best table topics by our speaker today, Toastmaster Sumaya Batu, and best big three, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. So now moving on to our panel discussions, it is all about why this club was founded. And I'll take the liberty of highlighting myself and the panelists. So the panelists, if you can turn on your videos, that would be great. Toastmaster Salman and Toastmaster Mubina. Yes, we have Toastmaster Salman. And Toastmaster Mubina, is it possible for you to turn on your, oh yes, there you are. Thank you so much. So our cruel VP Education has allocated just 25 minutes for this panel discussion, so we'll try to wind up. Before that, let me start the timing. What we'll be doing is we'll be using the timing app that is available within Zoom. Yeah, it takes forever to load because, of course, it's Zoom. How can it be efficient and fast? Anyhow, so we'll be pegging this for 25 minutes. Wait, it's 20 plus 5, am I right, DD Mirror? Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I was mute. So 20 plus 5 is for the keynote. For the panel discussion, it's 25 plus 5. Apologies for my mistake on the agenda. It's 5 minutes more for
It's
the
all right.
panel discussion.
So the time is 25 minutes, right?
Yes, plus 5 minutes
All
for Q&A.
All right. Okay. So we are putting 30 minutes on the clock. and we'll start. So everyone, welcome to this panel discussion. We have three panelists with us who need no introduction, but it's customary to introduce. Therefore, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh, past district governor, and currently an area director, charter president, times DTN. Congratulations on receiving your second DTN from Pathways right now. And he's a lot of things, but he's an amazing human being, first and foremost, a very learned and intellectual human being. We have Toastmaster Mubina Rauf, who is also one of the charter members of Quantum D, and she is into the teaching profession. She is a poet and a writer as well. And we have Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim, whose list of achievements and certifications extends extensively, but he is primarily and he's pretty much an expert on anything, no matter what we talk to him about. It turns out that he knows quite a bit about this subject. So I will pose the first question, and all participants are requested to limit their answers to 2 minutes. And if you feel unduly constrained by that diabolical time limit, don't blame me, blame the VP Education for making the agenda. So my first question is a common one for the three of you. And that is that, what do you think is actually, why is scientific education important, especially for our future generations? Starting with you, DTM Chef.
Thank you very much, DTM Talab bin Hamid. The question is that why it is important for our next generation to be well equipped with the scientists. The reason behind it is, let me share one thing with you. When I started my computer science education, and I will not going to tell you at what time, we are using the card, punching card, and the computer is as big as my house is about 500 yards. So that computer, the memory is very small, 128K, and it is with the tube one and getting the heat, and that's the reason it's so cold, like the freezing point. Now, why it is important for the next reason behind where we are now. Every day there are new things are coming up. For example, yesterday there was a new phone. It's not required any things to be charged. It's not required any internet. And that invention is made by our billionaire Elon Musk. So it is very much vital that our kids must be aware of it, where we are now and where we are going to lead about tomorrow. If they don't know anything about the science, they will be an alien, just like anything living in the remote area. They are not aware of the electricity, they are not aware of the internet, they are not aware of any gadget, and they are still in the Stone Age. If we fail to give scientific educations to our kids, it's mean we are not going to the justice to our next generation. It is very much vital. Now the schools, every school, they are teaching the robotic. Why they are teaching the robotic? The reason behind that, the kids should be so innovative, so knowledgeable, so curious about it, what we can do and what we are going to receive about it. So it's a time of the science. It's a time of to learn the new things. It's a time the kids should be so innovative that keep themselves what's going on around them. So it is very much vital that the kids should know about scientific education. Over to the moderator.
Thank you. Thank you so much, DKM sir. Same question to you, Toastmaster Numi. You're muted.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all. I will take it with a different approach. You know, science is about, it's about logic. The basic, whatever we have been studying throughout our lives, science has always been a compulsory subject. But how it affects our everyday life and how it determines our paths in life. Science, first of all, most importantly, it teaches us logic. You know, you observe something. What do scientists do? They get an idea and they observe something and they make a hypothesis. And then they work on that hypothesis. They experiment and then they prove whether their idea was okay or was it right or wrong. And if we go through the history of science, the first idea that comes, it is resisted. Like we have examples of, I can only think of Galileo now, how he was, you know, shunned by the society with the new ideas that he gave us. But then he was proved right after hundreds of years. And even if we see the, you know, we now know that life is composed of cells, from human beings to the, you know, sea anemones, the small, tiny, whatever is living, to the leaves and everything. It's composed of cells. And that idea of the composition of cells in life, it took 200 years to, you know, to justify it, to prove it, that all life is made of cells. So if we you know, implement this idea of observing and you know, having an idea, and even today when we see such a polarized world, they have opinions and we stick to them. We don't go into thinking like a scientist. That is what we need. That is what we need in our education to change. And that is the importance of science. It will lead us to, you know, better thinking, better, if we follow the scientific, you know, education, scientific methods, I think we will become a more tolerable society. Not like now when, you know, we are living in a completely polarized world, that if you are right, okay, you're fine. Otherwise, no, you don't belong to my group of people. So this is my idea of the importance of scientific education in the society.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that is a wonderful addition, pointing out the scientific method, which is not only used for science, but it's also sanctioned by our religion. We have been told that whenever we hear something, we need to investigate it before passing it on. And that's the root of evil that is in the society.
Yes, and there is also, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
There is also this recurring, you know, thing in the Quran that for the people who think, these are the signs. These are the signs for people who think.
We are supposed to actually study. We have been sanctioned to investigate how this world works, and it also ties beautifully into what Einstein said, that physics is trying to understand the mind of God. So, over to you, Toastmaster Sulman Ibrahim. What do you think is the importance of scientific education in everyday life?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me on this very esteemed panel. I am truly honored to be right next to Toastmaster Saif and Toastmaster Mubina. having the discussion with you, gentlemen and ladies. I think the importance of the scientific education starts with the curiosity that we have as children, because as children we are always curious about things, about how they work, about what could be done to sort of make them work differently. And all of that is basically our efforts in darkness till we are exposed to the scientific concepts behind the working of each and every one of those things. So, for example, kids are very much interested in crackers, explosives, and they are interested in cycles. They are interested in sports. They are interested in let's say, for example, as trivial as sour candy. So when you expose them to scientific education, you tell them how a sour candy works, what can be done to make the taste even better from a chemical standpoint, for example, how a cycle works. And then they come to basically realize how they can improve the functioning of cycles, or how the environment works. Why is it so hot these days? And what can be done to basically contribute to sort of have that climate change contribution, and number of things as an example. And when they start getting the scientific education, the background of how things work, and the problems that they have faced during the course of their childhood, they can start thinking of possible solutions. And that's where I would say the strategic planning aspect comes in, because if you want to go somewhere, you need to first know where you are and the problem that you are able to actually contemplate, you are actually facing. So if you are not even able to understand the problem that you are facing, then you won't be able to devise a solution to that. And I think that's where scientific education helps you put the solid foundations for your future creativity, for your future imagination, for your future analytical endeavors, logical problem solving, because you know how things work. And then that's where you know the possibilities of different things. And with all the computational power that's going to be at the disposal of the future generation, they will definitely do wonders at a much accelerated space than the past generations have ever been able to.
Thank you, Mr. Salman. Of course, the pace of progress means that we may be the only generation that actually knows how things work, and now we are the ones taking the advantage of technology. But the technology that we are using, we know how that works, but our kids don't. And the worst part is they don't care. So my follow-up question to you, DTM sir, is that how do we turn our kids from consumers to innovators? Right now, they're just consuming technology like this, and that's all they're interested in. How do we arouse curiosity in them to actually become innovators?
Yeah, thank you very much once again, GTM Talab bin Hamid. You know, there is inbuilt quality in the kids, the curiosity. If they don't have the curiosity, they cannot improve and grow. This is basic ingredient of the kids is the curiosity. And even though if you can ask them to go in a competition, for example, a competition of running. Day before yesterday, my granddaughter asking about me why it is important for me to participate in a running contest, and what is the scientific logic behind that. I have to put the 4 feet first or the rear feet first on the ground. So it forced me to give the logical answer to her. If you are going to put your 4 feet first, it means you are not going to bounce back yourself. If you are going to put the rear feet first on the ground, then your feet will come like this one. It's bouncing back, and it is going to take your less energy to move fast. So each and everything, what's the kids need? They need the questions to be answered. That it is illogical or not, as Mubina said about it, that the science is based on the logic. So even the questions arise in the mind of the kids in the new generation. They are asking, what is the logic behind this one? Why I am going to run? Why I'm going to put the 4 feet or the rear foot on the ground first? So why I'm swimming? Why I'm putting the breaking the water and pushing the water back? So it's a very much logical thing, the science. And if we are going to encourage our kids to go ahead and ask the question, that that is a two-dimension answering the question. Is one is that the kids are challenging you to give the answer, logical answer to them. And the second is that if they are convinced, they will move ahead. If I'm not going to give the answer, he is going to go to someone else to get the answer. But we have to change our education system, that the kids encourage to ask the question to the parents, encourage the kids to ask the question to the teacher. It's not a tradition one that the teachers are coming and giving the lectures and going back. And after that, they are punishing, oh, you can't remember it. No. If they will get the answer, if they are convinced about it, then we are providing a space for the kids to invent something better for the future. So it is totally encouraging them, answer the question logically, and move forward so they can be assets for us. Hope I answered the question.
Thank you, DTM sir. Thank you for that beautiful thought, arousing curiosity. And that leads me to my next question to Toastmaster Mubin. And that question is the eternal battle between studying for monetary benefits versus studying for learning. And of course, it cannot be 100% one way or the other. How do we convince today's generation that not everything should be done for career or money? Because for scientific progress, that is first and foremost requirement.
Yeah, this is an interesting but difficult question. Thinking of the situation we are in these days, and the inflation is getting out of limits, and people are worried about paying bills, and of course the children, students, they are all suffering. I will go back to my basic point, that we have to let children, we can't teach them. We have to let children be in an environment where they get opportunities to think, to have new ideas. When as long as this doesn't happen, they will be on that, that typical path of studying in a school, going to the university, and getting a job, and then go, enter the rat race, and that's it. They won't get any time to think about other things, about what they can do for the benefit of humanity, with all the knowledge they gained during their studies. Most of the kids I know these days, they are not doing that thing, what the degree that they had when they left the university. They're doing completely, something else. Why?
Yes.
Because they go where they get the remuneration, which of course they need that. you can't live without money these days.
Yes.
And
True.
we shouldn't go into those idealistic things. The point is that from the very beginning, we have to train them to think, to get new ideas, and to like we can introduce from the very beginning, we can introduce them to coding, to cooking, which I think is very important to have a healthy life.
Yes.
Because processed foods are ruining our health. And when they have these skills and they work on their own, they experiment things in coding, in cooking, in many other things, in building homes. These days we make like cubicles, like places where there are no ventilators, there are the windows, the doors are always sealed, and we are solely dependent upon air conditioning. So when they will start thinking about innovation, about new kind of entrepreneurship, I think that will bring the change that we desperately need.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Yeah, very pertinent point that scientific education adds to human progress, but it also should add and must add to quality of life.
Yes.
Each and every individual's level. And you pointed out very well that we live and work in enclosed spaces, we eat processed food, and we take it for granted because we can't be bothered to learn or investigate more. Moving on to you, Toastmaster Salman. There's a challenge that the laziness is being redefined in each generation. We were the generation who used to actually go out of homes and play. And then when we started playing video games, we were criticized by our parents that, what are you doing? You're sitting at home and literally twiddling your thumbs. But now my son actually got into, I got into gaming big time. And it took my son 10 years to get into gaming. But now his younger sisters, what they are doing, they're watching people play games. And the youngest daughter is watching people play games. So they can't even be bothered to play games themselves. They're just watching people on YouTube to play games. So my question to you is, it's clear from what Toastmaster Mubina said as well, the entire education system needs to be revamped because unfortunately right now it is geared towards making all of us into money-making machines rather than adding something valuable to the society. So how do you propose that should come up?
I think there is a misunderstanding on part of the future generations being lazier than the previous ones. I have a belief that the future generation might seem to be a little bit lazier, maybe less physical, however, more productive than the previous one. And we have been seeing that at least we can compare that from the industrial revolution age, where people used to kind of do hard physical labor, and then the next one was able to use engines and make most use of industrial machinery to do things differently, to do things more productively. So one thing that I believe we need to keep in mind is every generation has a different way of doing things, and as a parent we need to understand that. And but the most common thread across all generation is the sense of achievement. So what you can do is basically have kids feel that kind of excitement when you are able to, let's say, when you scored a goal, or when you scored a winning stroke, or you made significant strides in bowling or batting or whatever. And it could be not physical as such as well. I mean, it could be you could be really good in programming at an early age, or he could be really good at let's say cooking at an early age. He could be really good at let's say, being creative with the painting and all of that. So you need to basically, I mean, we need to, as parents and we need to figure out what exactly is it that motivates the kids, and then from there onwards, encourage them to pursue that interest, because if you think along with them, you will be able to achieve much better results than if you think sitting on the other side of the table. And that's how I think you can basically get into their, let's say, thinking process and figure out how to just guide them in that certain path. And that should basically help them with the very important life question on regarding money aspect, regarding like future earning prospects, all of that then boils down into pursuing that interest that they have, which may or may not be acceptable to us given our background. But we have to accept that. I mean, we can't just say that no, if you are into programming or gaming, then you have no future. The future, right now, people are making money by just competing in virtual games. So that's one way of accepting and encouraging your kids in that direction.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, summing up the discussion, first of all, we concluded that yes, scientific education is important in each and every field of life, even if you don't apply it practically, what it imparts and what it adds to life. So, we can have talked about children having curiosity and inciting curiosity within children. Toastmaster Nubina talked about the scientific method and how it should be used in each and everything. And Toastmaster Salman talked about a very interesting idea, which I think we should be doing, which is that we should gamify. And of course, our gamification chair is in this meeting as well. Toastmaster Imran. Gamify knowledge, gamify scientific pursuit. Because yes, one thing we need to realize is that the scientific interest may not arise by itself. It is our duty to ensure that it arises within children and they start exploring. And no matter what field it is, as Salman said, whether it's gaming, it's programming, it's coding, it's physics, it's chemistry, even social sciences or medicine, we are no one to actually bind them what they can or cannot do. What we should ensure is that whatever they do involves the scientific method. And that is the core of every credible intellectual achievement. So it is our job to actually ensure that these avenues are open for our children. It's no use complaining about, like I have been doing, how they are not interested, how they are lazy, how they are least bothered about science, how they are all they care about is making money. Yes, all that is true, but it is our job to change that for them, or at least provide them with what we need to change that. So with that, we are running out of time. I cannot thank my panel participants enough. I think you all delivered some life-changing ideas for our audience members today. And with that, I thank you. And we will end the time. So DTMSF, one takeaway, one line, each one of you, one takeaway from this discussion in one line.
My one line is that encourage the kids to go to the invention instead of money making.
What about you, Toastmaster?
My takeaway is, I found Toastmaster Salman, his ideas quite interesting, and I think I should learn to code, and then maybe I'll be able to teach my grandson how to code and how to, gamify things.
Yes, we should set an example. Even if we don't learn to code precisely, we should at least take an interest in coding for children to get interested.
Yes.
Instead of complaining about it. What about you, Toastmasters?
Encourage creativity, imagination, and try to instill grit in your kids.
Yeah,
Determination.
that's very important.
for
Yes,
kids.
grit is very
Thank you so
important.
much. And one very convenient way of doing that would be to get them to attend the meeting of this club. Because, yeah. So I encourage everyone to bring their children or the children you know to this meeting. Because I think, I generally feel that one of the reasons this club was founded was, of course, scientific curiosity. And we could make it that. So moving on now to the education session, the prepared speeches session. Our first speaker is Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim. He's not an Arab, DTM Arab, unless you did it deliberately. But since you will be chairing the evaluation session and the session, I'm handing over the floor to you. So over to DTM Ibrahim.
So DTM Salman Ibrahim, but I liked that when I was writing it, so I thought, let me see if I can get away with it. Thank you very much for being the panelist and also going ahead with the speech today. So today my speaker is going to perform to clearly define a topic and write it down. It's a speech that has to be done with the purpose. And he's going to focus on selecting a topic that is meaningful to him. And the goal is to write it down by compelling it to the audience. Now, before that, before I hand over the charge to the speaker, I have to introduce my panel here. So can I hear a yes from my panel here? So we're going to start with the visual from DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. You're here? Yes. And the perceptible is going to be done by DTM Talha. And something which I love to do, and she must be knowing that I drag her on purpose on this position, is the language and structure by Toastmaster Mubina.
Okay.
And our newbie Toastmaster Sumaya is going to do the auditory part, but she's going to come in the last in the panel so that she also gets a vibe of how it is being done. Quickly, all of my moderators are going to speak for 1 minute or less. So Toastmaster Ibrahim, over to you with the speech title, The Compound Effect and Life. Timings is 5 to 7 minutes.
Am I visible and audible to everyone?
Yes, you are. Toastmaster Salman, can you see my window? It will be the timing window, okay?
Yes, I can see it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. This is my speech, prepared speech on basically writing a speech with purpose for pathway strategic relationships. And this is basically to help me refine my abilities to explain technical terms in a non-technical way to layman people. Before I start my speech, I'd like to ask a question of the people around here in this session. How many of you can actually run a 60-minute jog in one go straight? That's very interesting. But
I can only walk. I can walk for 2 hours, not jog.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, jogging for 60 minutes straight is not as easy for a lot of people, at least for me. I can jog for maybe 15 minutes now, but that's also after the concept I just learned or basically started to apply in my real life. What if I tell you that if you are able to run 1 minute now at a stretch, within a year, or maybe two for some people, you can be running a 10K race without considering too much of extra effort to be applied on a daily basis to improve your performance. It's really hard to believe, but not impossible to achieve. And that's where the compound effect helps you. And I'll tell you the solution about this towards the end of this speech. Compound effect is essentially defined as a set of small but consistent steps over a period of time that results in a much better output than the initial state that you are in at the beginning of the period. The key here, though, is consistency and no gaps in between. Sometimes people connect this theory to butterfly effect and the chaos theory and whatnot, but that's a topic for another discussion. The concept is normally applied in finance, especially investments, where you let your initial investment be accrued and generate return on an ongoing sustainable basis for a longer period, even if the single step movement or the change in the wealth seems quite small, if you want to look at it from a step-by-step increment point of view. But interestingly, this concept is applicable on almost everything in your life. If you look at the things that are just right outside your doorstep, crops, grass, flowers, they are growing at such a small incremental basis that they start off from the seed, but in their stipulated time frame, they turn out to be something really beautiful. The rocks on the beach getting eroded, and most importantly, all of us getting older and physically weaker. Now, there is only one thing that's constant in life. While I talked about all the growth and everything, but there is still one thing that's constant in life, and that is change. So how can that constant factor in your life be channeled into something that is for your own benefit to achieve your long-term goals, long-term objectives? So coming back to the objective to run for 60 minutes, let's say at 6 minutes a mile, all you need to do is just run 1% more than you did the last time. How insignificant that required change is. It starts off with less than a second initially to your everyday routine of running for, let's say if you start off at 1 minute run, you add only less than a second to that on an ongoing basis, because that's 1%. So 1% eventually will reach only a maximum of 40 seconds at the end of your year, or 2 years if you want to basically consider it for on an alternate date running. Now that's very small amount. That's a very small amount of effort that you have to put in on a periodic basis. But the result is quite amazing. You can go for a 10K marathon if you continue to sort of exert more than 1% improvement. Let's say even if you add just 1.5% improvement, you could actually go for a half marathon or a marathon in just a year's time. That might sound impossible initially, but it is actually not. For a person like me, it doesn't mean much effort from, let's say, from a daily basis, but the results is outstanding. We can apply the same goal, same concept, same process to anything that we want to achieve in life. The process just works the same way. Dream, set a goal, pick the progress steps, and no matter how small those are, how difficult your situation is, keep chipping at that goal, at that progress steps every day, and voila, you achieve your results in your stipulated time. maybe a little bit more, but at least even then, you will be much better than where you were at the beginning. And I think that's where we can learn and apply this relatively financial or investments related concept to our other objectives in life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Salman. And I'm now going to move ahead as the lead evaluator of your speech. The compound effect and life. The topic in itself was showing the purpose connectivity of the Toastmaster Salman, that he's going to put something technical into layman words. Thank you very much. Most of the Toastmasters do a mistake while they do this project is they forget to share the purpose in the beginning, or they inform the evaluator that could you please share my purpose. Any one of these things have to be done so that the audience knows pre-hand that what is the speaker about to do. Later on, once you do a speech, the purpose is not sure, people have to figure out what it was, and then the whole objective is lost. Kudos to you for doing that by sharing it in the beginning clearly, that this is the purpose, that you want to bring something technical broken down into simple words. That actually shows you as a speaker, as a human being, a very technical person, and it shows me as an audience. I personally felt that I could see your mission. Why are you here in Toastmasters? You're here to improve your technical jargon words and the way how you behave with people in technicality, to bring it more human level, more connecting level. I might be wrong, but this is what I felt. And I wish you all the best in your journey if you're going ahead with this. Now, moving on with certain things, and the purpose is filled. Congratulations, objective is hit. Now I'm going to go ahead with the things that I really like in your speech. I like the way that it wasn't a speech. It was more of like a thought being shared. I can see that the purpose was clearly all over the speech while you bring in technical words and then you're explaining it. Now, for doing that, what you were doing is that you were not doing it in a very formal speech way. You are doing it in a way that a lecturer or a teacher is explaining, that, you know, you are looking up, you're looking for right words, you're trying to bring in the easy stuff to connect with the topic, that what compound is, how to break your goals down, and making it as simple as possible. So that really connected. This speech was not a formal one. It really looked like a discussion. Kudos for that too. I like the way that you brought in things that you dream, set goals, progressive. So there were steps that you were talking about. Steps are always good to give back to the audience in a speech as a guideline. Now, if I could move towards recommendation, and this is something from my personal perspective, Toastmaster Salman. One is that when you talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, I want to hear how many points they are. So what I saw was dream, set goals, break it down, but I wanted to see 3 points, 4 points, 5 points. What is it? So I need to know a number as an audience, that how many points do I have to go for? And moreover, I would really like to see some numbers. So if you could just do one task 1% a day, it would turn, you will be 37 times better a year later. So while we break down technical stuffs easily, I would really like to hear numbers, percentage, how many times better, just so that, you know, it's highlighted to me. All in all, beautiful speech. I like the way how you simplified it, and you have really hit the objective. Just bring in some facts and figures and numbers, and that will have more impact. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Salman. I'm now going to move towards my panel of evaluation modelers over here. And first, I'm going to start with our esteemed DTM Saif Ali Sheikh for the visual perspective of the speech done by Toastmaster Salman. DTM Saif, your 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster DTM Iram, and in particular Toastmaster Salman. It's a wonderful speech. I'm not going to evaluate your speech today. I'm going to focus only the visual part. The background is excellent background, and you was well attired and sitting with the confidence. This is the confidence appears from your face. And the second thing is that you adjust the camera well. Excellent. Camera, background, and your hand gesture is excellent. What I observe about to improve your visual by not to sit on the chair, just make the arrangement about the stage arrangement. And if there is a stage, you have a better appearance of yourself. We can see the whole body and we can understand your body gestures too. And we can understand how effectively you're using the stage. This is the few point I suggest you. Over to the lead evaluator, DK Meera Misri.
Thank you very much, DTM Seth. I'm going to move towards my next module evaluator, and that is for perceptible part by DTM Talha bin Hamid. Over to you, DTM Talha.
I will allude to what you pointed out in your evaluation, and that was that it sounded more like a friendly pep talk rather than a formal speech. I think for this particular subject matter, it worked very well, and it involved us more into the speech. That may not work for every speech, though. So a speech has to start and end like a speech, a little bit more formally. It can veer into pep talk territory during the speech. But I really like because it helped us connect to the subject matter very well. And that's pretty much it. Over to you, lead developer.
Thank you very much, DTM Talha bin Hamid. And very well done. I think that really took out the crust of the whole speech. I'm going to now move towards our next module evaluator, and that is for structure and language. Toastmaster Mubina, over to you.
Thank you, Didier Miram, for involving me in this very interesting speech. As far as the language is concerned, I liked the simplicity of the language. The title was like it will be something, high fire, but Toastmaster Salman brought it to the level of all of us to understand a concept, and through his I think he has a financial background, and he used that background to bring out to present to us a simple concept of how running we can be good runners. And his language was simple, and he built on his starting from asking a question, and which was a very it is always a very interesting way to engage the audience. And I would humbly disagree with this concept of explaining what he's going to say. This is not the speaker's duty, it is the evaluator's duty to tell the audience what the speaker is going to do. And if it becomes a habit, it might affect the when we go into competing and all that. We need to start, if he had started with the question straight away, that would have been more interesting. And I really liked his language and the structure that he built stepwise. Like he it related to what he was saying, that you have to keep on doing improving in by doing something, taking tiny steps. And yes, and the only thing I missed was a personal story. He might have made himself an example and told us how he gained his goal of running for 60 minutes. Back to you, Lydia.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mubina. And I do agree with you. It does create a bit of a huddle, but this is the choice that the speaker has, that either they can do it or the evaluator can share the purpose, but that is the requirement of this project so that we get uncomfortable again, one of those projects. So I'm going to now move on to my last module evaluator, Toastmaster Sumaya. You're here with us? Toastmaster Sumaya.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
DTM.
So you're going to evaluate the auditory part. Over to you.
The whole speech was clear. The audio was clear so that we could understand the speech properly. It was clear from any sort of interruptions or disruptions. there were proper pauses in the speech. The pace was not too slow, so that the audience interest got lost, or it was not too fast, so that it could make us difficult to understand the topic. The speech was not sort of a monotone. It was composed of proper pauses, and the pace was appropriate. The audio was correct, and we got a complete understanding of the topic. So as a whole, the speech was clear, and the audio was also clear.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Toastmaster
That's good.
Sumaya, and kudos for being the modular evaluator for the very first time. And now I would like to request Toastmaster Salman to share his views on the feedback that you have received. Again, you have 1 minute.
Well, thank you very much all for sharing the valuable feedback. It is just a start of the long journey, and I intend to apply the same compound effect concept on the speech improvement as well. And hopefully, in the next 1 year's time, you will see all of this in a much, much better shape. And then there will be no, hopefully, negative comments on any of the speech aspects. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Salman. There was nothing negative. It was just a perspective, and it is only learning. So thank you so much. I would just like to steal few moments from TMOD for the next speech. I want to do some shuffling, looking at some opportunity that I have here. The lead evaluator is going to be DTM Saif, and Toastmaster Mubina. I understand you have to leave. Has she left? Yes, she has left. So Toastmaster Mubina was about to do auditory. So can I request Toastmaster Asghar to do the auditory part of the next speech? Toastmaster Asghar, don't ignore me. Toastmaster Asghar, would you like to do the auditory part of the next speech?
Well, thou eggs have no business dancing with stones. I'm ready to do.
Okay, great. So you are going to do the auditory part of the next speech, and I would like to take opportunity. DTM Sarfaraz, I was about to do perceptible part. Would love to hear you sharing the perceptible part of the next speech. Would you do that? Sir, you're muted.
Second, yeah. I was going to leave right after the speech was over.
It will just take, I think, probably another 5 minutes because our evaluations are right away. I can request DTM Saif to call you first.
Okay, so what exactly you want me to do?
Perceptible part. So you are going to speak for 1 minute or less after hearing Toastmaster Sumayya's speech and share how did the speech feel to audience overall. What was the feeling out of that speech?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so thank you so much. So we have done a bit shuffling. DTM Saif, I hope you have noted down. Toastmaster Asghar is going to do the auditory part. DTM Sarfaraz is going to do the perceptible part, and I'm going to switch off my video for a while. So over to you, DTM Talha.
Yeah. What a favor, DTM. You left so much for TMOD to do. I have nothing except to hand over the charge to DTM Saif for the next speech. So over.
Thank you very much, TMOD, Toastmaster TTM Talha bin Hamid. And today, Toastmaster Sumaya Batul is repeating her project related to the vocal variety and body language. Toastmaster Toastmaster Sumaya Batul, you're here. So you're repeating the project for vocal variety and body language. Over to you, Toastmaster Batul.
Thank you very much. Yeah, am I audible to you?
Yes, you are, but Sumaya, try to speak a little louder. There's a bit of an echo. So it will help if you speak a little bit louder. Okay?
A few days ago, I was researching about the impact of changing trends, and it led me down an eye-opening path. Did you know that an average person encounters 6,000 to 10,000 number of ads in 2021. And it was double the number of ads people used to encounter in 2007. And it is even 12 times larger, the number of ads people used to encounter in their 70s. The point of concern is that the number is increasing day by day, and it is even bigger after COVID. We see a lot of ads on our social media apps. WhatsApp is free from them, but TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, all are crowded with a lot of ads about so many things. Buy this item, this dress, a new cool gadget, or a new phone. An iPhone release with all the features are the same. We are constantly rushing before those new sales, new ads, new items. Nowadays, the TAMO is constantly taking our attentions. The concept is being built into us that if you buy this item, you will be more satiated and satisfied. You will be socially more acceptable if you wear this dress. So constantly we are into this cult of buying that item, getting into that sale, and the concept of hyper consumerism is consuming us. My dear Toastmasters fellows and colleagues, I have a question from you. How many of you still experience family gatherings on your daily meals, lunch, and dinners? That's great. If we reflect back 15 to 20 years ago, we used to have family gatherings. It was a norm. On our meals, lunch, and dinners, people used to gather over the table and they share their meals, lunch, and dinners. And after the meal, 15 to 20 minutes was an informal learning session. Youngers taking advices from the elder ones sharing their experiences with the younger ones, sharing their problems, and the sort of eating experience was transformed into the informal learning session, making connections and interactions with each other. Now we have traded our family gatherings, rich conversations with the fast food restaurants and with the fast-paced life. We are more into going to some fast food restaurant, stepping for the food, and then flaunting them on the social media. We are getting more into sensual experiences, and we have mistaken them for true happiness. Sensual experiences, true happiness, contentment, and inner satisfaction. These are different terms. If we see a few years ago, we were more into reading books, learning for knowledge, acquiring knowledge, but now we have totally consumed by the concept of looking cool, buying materialistic things, investing in some superficial things, which have taken away the sort of spirituality and the sort of the purpose from our lives. I don't urge you to eliminate them or to trim them from your life, but redirect them. Set your boundaries. See what is important and what is useless. Are you investing on something which is long term or which is short term? Learning for the sake of money turns to the short term goals. Well, we are supposed to learn for the long term goals. The money we are investing on the materialistic things, we can invest it to sponsor someone's child education, some welfare activities, or something related to experiences or purposeful living. Let's raise our voice that these trends doesn't consume us. Let's raise our voice that our new master always keeps us busy all the time. The new iPhone release, the new sale, the new item, or the new cool gadget. It will not make us satiated or satisfied with our life until we are satisfied with ourselves. We need to personally grow ourselves, to work on our personal development, and we learn to acquire knowledge, read books, learn concepts, go through the philosophies so that we could make decisions wisely. Maybe if you raise the voice against the concept of hyperconsumerism, you may be considered outdated. But believe me, the concept of hyperconsumerism is consuming us. It's consuming all our time, energy, money, at the expense of our mental health, at the expense of our financial stability, time, and energy. We are supposed to be more knowledgeable, savvy, intellectual, and insightful. So there's a high time that we raise this awareness and that we instill this concept into ourselves. There's something which is superficial, it is sensual. It's not something which is insightful, and we need to learn. We need to learn this concept and we need to raise the awareness against this. The concept of hyperconsumerism is consuming us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What a savvy family bonding expert today we have it. So I'm just shifting because since Safraz want to move early, and I would request DTM, multiple time DTM, Toastmaster Safraz to do the perception part of her speech.
Thank you, Mr. Lead Evaluator, DTM Saif Ali Sheikh. I enjoyed Toastmaster Sumaya Batul's speech. I liked the concepts that she presented. Family gathering, talking about 20 years ago, people sat down at the dining table, had their meal, and had a discussion. And each person asked, how their day was or issues that they have and how those issues can be resolved. And she was talking about fast food. Also, you can, even if you go out to a fast food restaurant, you can still have similar to a family gathering, chit chat. But unfortunately, these days when people go out, instead of talking, they're busy taking pictures so they post it on the Facebook, say, hey, look where I'm eating or what am I eating? So that then she also talked about acquiring knowledge, reading books, raising voices, or spending money on someone's education. So that was great. The only thing missing was I would have liked to see a little bit personal information in there, sound more like a technical concept, general. And as DTM Iram mentioned to the previous speaker, there were several items. You should have said, hey, I'm going to discuss 3 items or 4 items, what are the number of items, so we can follow. I was trying to keep up with the different ideas that she was presenting. And I don't know where one concept ended, another one started. So that would have been better. So overall, I enjoyed your speech, and I look forward to hearing you again in the near future. Back to you, Mr. Lead Evaluator.
Thank you very much, DTM Sarfraz. Now you are free to go.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Now let's move to the auditory part. And I have seen a person, he is on the reading. So please put your hand together, Toastmaster Asghar, to do the auditory part for Toastmaster Sumaya Batul.
Thank you very much, Lead Evaluator. I was so mesmerized by the story of this family gathering. I virtually forgot what I was supposed to do, but let me give it a try. Toastmaster Sumaya Batul, thank you very much for your story. What I like is you have a clear voice. It is easy to understand you. I was following you throughout your speech. It was quite easy. I did not tremble when it comes to speaking or understanding or comprehending your story. This is one thing I really like. But there are certain areas where you were supposed to modulate your voice in order to strengthen your message that you are giving or the story that you are telling. For example, I think you have started in a very slow tone when you said few days ago. You should have said it few days ago, and then you started your story. Similarly, when you are putting the questions, had you put it in a question form, it would have been more impactful. For example, are you investing some time something on long term or short term. When we take pause, when we put the questions the way it indicates what we want to say. Or for example, in another area, you said, now it is high time. As you said that now it is high time for all of us. This create an impact. Otherwise, it was a clear, easy story or a speech to follow, just a variation in the tone, the modulation of your voice would have brought more impact of your speech or your story. This is from my side. Over to you, the lead evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster alias Asghar Ali sir. And here is the quality of Toastmaster Asghar is always come up with the innovative evaluations and the speeches too. And let's move next to our uh, technology savvy Toastmaster Salman. Could you please take care of visual part for Toastmaster Sumaya Batul?
Thank you very much, DTM Saif. From a visual perspective, the background was obviously blurred, and she was standing. The movement was a little bit, let's say, abrupt, but the hand gesture was in line with basically the topics that she was discussing, and we were able to kind of see the impact of those things being reflected in the way so she was talking about different aspects, so she made sure that it showed through her hand movement. One thing that I would like to suggest here would be to make sure that the movement is across the basically screen is more thoughtful and kind of uh, let's say it's not as abrupt as it was, but otherwise it was quite visually appealing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Salman. Let's move to the fourth modular evaluator, Toastmaster DTM Talha bin Hamid. He is going to cover the structure and language part of Toastmaster Sumaya Batul.
Thank you so much, DTM Saif. So, Toastmaster Sumaya, your speech was well structured. It was fairly conventional in the sense that it had an intro, then a middle, and then an end. I found that the connections between the segments were smooth. So you transitioned smoothly from one segment to another. And one thing that I loved, which I think most Toastmasters should do, is to avoid explaining the speech beforehand. Like, this is what I'm going to say. Of course, not pointing out to Toastmasters Salman because it was a requirement of the project to do so. Sometimes Toastmasters say that, I'll start my speech this way and that. So that's not needed. So I love that. And your language was a little bit simple, but it was grammatically correct and it got the message across very effectively because it was about a simple theme and that could be related to everyone. So that's my feedback. Over to you, DTM.
Thank you very much, DTM Talha bin Hamid. And now it's very difficult for me to evaluate DTM Sumaya Batul because all what my notes are there, what was in my mind, it's all gone, either by the Surfraz, the Sulman, or Talha, or Asghar. So even though I will, let me try a little bit. So do the justice to the assignment given by TTM Iram Rizvi to me as an lead evaluator. Toastmaster Sumaya Batul, your plus point. Very simple speech. There is no nervousness at all. You was confident throughout your project. You start with the social media and the ads, and after that, you raise the question. If I'm in your place, I will start my speech with a question to get and grab the attention of the audience. What is going to be happen now? how many how many of you experience of a family gathering, and then you drive your stories, the informal learning with the family gathering, and sitting with the fast food and reading the book. I still remembers my grandmothers. They are always sitting after the Isha prayer and giving the stories. And that was a fantastic and memorable time. I still cherish that one. So you can bring some your personal stories to add the values to your project. I miss one thing that there was a meaningful pause. There was no pause in your speech. You were just bombardment with your sentences. So you're not giving us an opportunity to absorb the message and move forward. So there must be a logical link and the pauses in between the speech to give the opportunity for the audience to grab what you want to make your point. In initial part of that one, I felt about it that I can't see your full body from head to the feet because its body language is speaking from your head to the feet, and the bottom part was the missing, how you are utilizing and moving from one place to another place. Otherwise, it was a good learn to acquire energy, knowledge, and the wisdom, not the money. By this, I request Toastmaster Sumaya Batul, what is your impression after the grill by the four evaluators? Over to you, Toastmaster Sumaya Batul.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. What did you say? Can you please
I,
repeat?
I'm saying that you was grilled by the five or the four, one, two, three, four, five evaluators. So after this roasting, how you feel? It is a crispy one, or the sweet one, cooked one? Can you
After
hear me?
evaluation from so many expert Toastmasters and speakers, for me, this is an opportunity to learn, to improve, and to inculcate this positive things into my next speech, inshallah. And for me, this is a platform to improve my speech and the things to improve in my speech for the next time. So I am this is something which is positive for me. It's not negative.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sumaya Batul. By this, I hand over control back to the TMOD.
Thank you so much, everyone. I'll be floating the polls, various polls. So please vote quickly. And meanwhile, we proceed with the meeting. Our next segment is one of the signature segments of Quantum League, and that is the Geek of the Week. Today, our Geek of the Week is actually the Geek of the Year because he is a PhD scholar, and he is very deeply into science. So I won't spoil much, and I will hand over the charge to Toastmaster Wes Butt.
Yeah,
Thank
Talha,
you.
the voting polls are not correct.
Yes, I think so too. I cancelled it.
You cancel, good.
Yeah,
We'll do it in the meantime, and over to Toastmaster Ways.
yeah. Actually, sorry, apologies. Best evaluator poll needs to be revised. I don't know. Anyhow, so yeah, over to you, Toastmaster Wes Butt.
Uh, Thank you, DTM Talha. Thank you, DTM Iram. First, I would like to start by thanking DTM Iram by putting a wrong name in that agenda. So my name is Awas Muhammad, but you put Awas Ahmad. It's okay because that made me remember one of my friends, which I have forgotten. He was with me in my school days. And then I start remembering all of my friends from school, like Ubaid, Umair, and all of those. So thank you for that. And so Geek of the Week. Sorry, I'm new to this Toastmaster. I've been very busy because I finished my PhD, as I've said in my last keynote speak, that I recently came to Pakistan and I've just been moving between different cities. So it's today as well. I was traveling from Risalpur to Pindi and I just got settled. I think we have got a evaluator. Let me vote it quickly. Okay. Okay, so Geek of the Week. So anybody who knows me well, he or she knows that given the option, I will always go talking about the movies. I am fascinated by movies, especially those which are complex, mind-boggling, where you are just scratching your head and saying, how did it happen? Means you don't understand it. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of excellent movies from Usual Suspects to Seven to Prisoners. However, there are a few, in my opinion, these are like the absolute best. They are geeky, and at the end, they really make you think about the movies. So, one of these movies, I'm going to talk about it today, is Inception. It is one of my favorite and arguably one of the greatest filmmaker of his generation, Christopher Nolan. He has made some excellent movies like Interstellar, Memento, Prestige, Dark Knight. Let me just minimize this evaluation form. I will do it later. But the idea behind the movie, which I'm going to talk about today, Inception, is on another level. He turned in this movie a simple robbery movie into this complex, multi-layered heist movie. So in this movie, Dom Cobb is a character, which is Leonardo DiCaprio, is a professional dream thief. And yes, you heard me right, a dream thief. His job is to go into your dreams while you are asleep and steal your secrets. However, he also has to fight everyone that comes into your dreams, from ninjas to drug dealers to anyone your mind can think of and make it up. So the science in this movie Inception, like if we can call it that, starts with the idea of shared dreaming. The whole crew, the robbery crew, enters anybody's dream using a magical dream machine, which is like in a briefcase. And please don't ask me how that briefcase works because I don't know. The real kicker in this movie Inception is in the word, like the title of the movie, which is Inception, which means planting an idea so deep into someone's subconscious that they think that it is their own idea. And it gets more interesting than that. You don't even like, you don't only have to put an idea in, you really have to go layers into somebody's mind to make them really believe in that idea. You really have to inspire them in their dreams so that at the end, when they wake up, they really should want that idea by themselves. And then the movie get more and more intense because I guess one dream is not enough. Like there are dreams within dreams and within dreams. Like I was thinking of an example and then I thought of like a shawarma or a burrito. So when you start eating a burrito, then different layer comes up, and at one point you forget which layer you are on. So same goes with the movie. At one point you forget it. Either you are in the first dream, or you are in the second dream within a dream, or you are within a dream within a dream within a dream. So we stop counting. Another very interesting thing which comes up in that movie, which I guess Tala will second me, is that spinning top. The thing which haunted us at the end of the movie. So, Cobb, which is the title character, he used to use this spinning top to figure out if he's still dreaming or if he's awake. If the top keeps on spinning forever, it means that he is in a dream. If it falls down, it means he's awake. So, as expected with Nolan, at the end of the movie, the top is spinning, it is wobbling but not falling down. So we are not sure that either he is in a dream or he is awake. Why I love this movie, like the real idea, like the main concept is like it makes that dream and reality like it makes it blurry. So by the end, we are left with this mind-bending question like, does it even matter if it's a dream, if it feels real? So at the end, I would like to like everybody give a thought to everybody that so next time when you wake up from a crazy dream where you are being chased by some crazy ridiculous monsters, just remember it can be very worse, much worse than that. Leonardo DiCaprio could be trying to steal your dream secrets while you are eating a giant dream burrito. So with that, I thank you all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Westbutt. And of course, Inception has to be one of the greatest movies of all time. Its impact on movies and fiction in general, in fact, cannot be measured. I think after The Matrix, it was Inception that actually influenced the art of movie making to the extent that it did. So it's curious. You see, what's the common thread that connects Westbutt and Salman Ibrahim? They're both friends of Toastmaster Imran Rana, and they've been introduced to Toastmasters by Toastmaster Imran. They're both bald also currently, and they are geeks exactly like me. So it's Inception all over again. I don't know what's happening. So thank you so much, and of course we would like everyone to watch Inception because it's worth. So without further ado, it's time for our next session, which is the table topic session, and table topics master is also DTM Iram Rizvi. She's doing so many roles today. So over to you, DTM.
Thank you very much, DTM Talha bin Hamid, and we wear many hats. Toastmaster Asghar, am I audible?
I will put extra pressure on my auditory system in
Anyways,
order
when
to
I'm
catch
there,
you.
you always have an extra pressure. I know that.
Yeah, I know.
We have that
Thank you.
effect. Okay, so today's table topics is going to be a little bit different. This is something taken an inspiration from Toastmaster Arvind in the last meeting. I'm going to call someone to attempt a topic, and I'm going to name anybody from the audience next who has to first spend 1 minute or less in giving feedback of that table topic speech. And then that person who has given feedback for the table topic speech is going to be the next table topic speaker. So this means everyone has to attentively hear all the speeches and also have your active listening to give a feedback to. Now, feedback, of course, means what went well and what could be better. And I understand at times we can always just talk about what was good in that speech in itself. So ready? So I'm going to call the first speaker, and the next speaker could be anybody after the first speaker has finished. So let me start off with my first topic, and the first person would be Toastmaster Sumaya. All right, ready? Your speech,
Yes.
Toastmaster Sumaya, is: if you could invent one scientific gadget to make your life easier, what would it be? If you could invent one gadget to make your life easier, what would it be, Toastmaster Sumaya?
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for giving me this opportunity. Okay. People say that our lives have become so easy after ChatGPT has come, AI, and so many like Gemini, Google Gemini, and so many research has been easy after these inventions. But I would say I want to do ChatGPT AI will do my art, my writing, my research, but I will direct them, do my household chores, and I will do my paint, my research, my writing myself. Sorry. So I am more into that rather than directing ChatGPT and AI to write this topic and write my research article or cold email and so on and so forth. So it's not something which is easy. It's something which is very purposeful and which is very meaningful to me. I would like to fulfill all my dreams that I used to think in my childhood, to paint this picture, to paint this canvas this way, to do this crochet, to do mehendi art, and so many things. So this is something which is making my life colorful, meaningful, purposeful, and I enjoy it. It is something scientific gadgets should give us purposeful and meaningful life rather than making some things which we can also do easy for us, like ChatGPT is writing articles for us rather than I can also write articles myself. So this is something which is somehow funny and sarcastic also about scientific inventions these days, that it is more focused on doing purposeful things and like doing chores that we can also do by ourselves, like um, it is attacking our creativity and our potential and doing our chores. So scientific invention should be like something doing our chores and giving us time to do our own work by our own. So this is somehow sarcastic and funny, and this is all from my side.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Sumaya. 1 minute evaluation, and the next speaker would be Toastmaster Asghar. Toastmaster Asghar, 1 minute evaluation or Toastmaster Sumaya's table topic speech. Bach gaye. I think he got a call or something. So I'm going to throw it up on Toastmaster Salman. 1 minute evaluation of Toastmaster Sumaya's speech, and then I will give you a topic.
Okay. So the explanation on the table topic that was given to her was quite interesting. The speech was obviously a little bit different than what she delivered earlier. And this one was filled with some repeated words and fillers. I think she can do away without those. Other than that, the explanation and the rationality of the idea that she wanted to have for that scientific investment, or sorry, scientific invention was quite clear and was quite interesting.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Salman. Kudos for trying that out. And this is what we do. We learn by doing. The topic for you, Toastmaster Salman, is what unique human ability do you think that AI cannot replace? What unique human ability do you think that AI cannot replace?
I think the most important aspect of the, our presence on Earth is our social interaction, is the compassion, is the relationship that we have among ourselves. And that is something that AI cannot replace, despite all the ability to compute things at an exponential speed and retrieve information on at let's say neck breaking space, or whatever quantum of speed you want to apply, measure of speed you want to apply on that. And essentially that doesn't serve the need that we have to communicate, to interact with each other. And yes, AI can help you do things on a much faster basis, on a much more efficient way. But all of that, again, has to basically serve the goal of the human race being more productive, human race being more, let's say, benefiting from all of this advancement. And I think that's where AI will just, it doesn't have in it as a character, or as a parameter or a structural trait that will always be there in humans. And if you look at the core objective of the human race in on this earth, the AI can always be a helpful tool, but not replace humans on that front.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Salman. And for evaluating Toastmaster Salman and going to be our next speaker, I found him now, is Toastmaster Asghar. Evaluate for 1 minute Toastmaster Salman's table topic speech.
Okay. Toastmaster Salman spoke about the unique human ability which he thinks cannot be replaced by IA. I think he rightly mentioned it, which is compassion, and then he went on to um, uh, clear his concept through the various examples and details. He not only praised the IA and its various aspects, but also categorically uh, uh, defended as thesis of not replacing compassion. Uh, uh, but I think the area of improvement is we must speak in terms of uncertainties. I think compassion could be one of the reason. I think cooperation is one of the emotions that cannot be replaced because we are not sure what this monster is going to do in coming decade. This is 1 minute. Over to you because I can see the red color
Yes.
in my background.
Thank you, Toastmaster Asghar. And the topic for you, Toastmaster Asghar, is if there is someone you can turn into a machine, who would that be? If there is someone you can turn into a machine, who would that be and why? Over to you.
Why both of you are laughing? Why you and DTM Talab and Ahmed is laughing? Okay. That would be perhaps my mother-in-law. If there is somebody on the space of earth that I want to turn into a machine and then fit an equipment or tools that, I mean, she should have hobby, she should follow my instruction and be an obedient servant under my command 24 hours, that would be my mother-in-law. Why? Because she is the nastiest person I have ever seen in this world. It is illegal to kill human being, otherwise she would have not been around. Had it been legal to turn someone into a machine, she would be the one, because I never disobeyed him, and I now want her to obey me all the time. I think this desires comes from perhaps this machine and human desire comes from my this imagination that if someday someone imagined a machine, think about turning a human into a machine, she would be the one I would like to be.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Asghar. And we need to close the cycle. So I'm going to ask Toastmaster Sumayya to evaluate Toastmaster Asghar's table topic for a minute or less.
The whole table topic was quite funny. So I was also smiling throughout when he was speaking. And this is something most of the people here can relate also. This is a relatable topic. So I personally don't know what it feels. So I can only smile. And there was a good comprehension. There was incursion of uh, humor also, relatability, voice, and pauses. So everything was great, and we enjoyed what he explained. So that's all.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sumayya. And yes, you have no idea what it is. It's that laddu that you will not understand till you get it. So could I request for one more table topic, dear timer and TMOD? So Zahra is going to get a topic here, Haneen Zahra. and she's going to attempt the topic, which is books are better than movies. Books are better than movies. Over to Haneen Zahra.
Aslam. My name is Haneen Zahra and I am 8.
Loudly. Okay.
Today my topic is, are books better than movies? I would say no because of 3 reasons. Number 1, many people do not know how to read books, such as small children and children who don't go to school. They would watch the movie instead.
Okay.
And also, a blind person can hear a movie and know what's going on. But a blind person can't get over the book. Two, many books do things. Colors. But not colors. I would just open the colors and go to sleep.
Number 3.
Number 3. Books are made of paper, right?
Yes.
So what are papers made of?
Trees.
Come on, what are papers made of?
Trees.
So that means reading books is to shoot at tree. Isn't that boring? And it's not funny that reading a book is not so nice because many books have to be cut down to make.
Many trees have to be cut.
Sorry, many trees have to be cut down to make. So I would say that watching movies are better than reading a book.
Thank you. Thank you very much for allowing that. And now I would like to pass on to DTM Talha.
Thank you so much. Please vote for best table topic speaker, and please vote for 2 of your favorites so that we can have a result. And now another announcement, and that is that our journal evaluation session will be split between 2 people. It's Toastmaster Sumaya who will be evaluating the panel discussion. And after that, we request Toastmaster Asghar, since he joined towards the tail end of the panel discussion, if he can deliver a journal evaluation of the meeting. You heard that, Toastmaster Asghar?
Please repeat your question. I just heard the word Asghar, but you are constantly mentioning me. I mean, 24 hours, so I really don't know.
Actually, our journal evaluator had to leave. So we're splitting the session between 2 people. Since you joined at the tail end of the panel discussion, we'll ask Toastmaster Sumaya to evaluate the panel discussion, and then you can evaluate the rest of the meeting. So over to you, Toastmaster Sumaya.
Can you please tell me for how much time?
You can have 2 to 3 minutes to evaluate the panel discussion.
As far as the panel discussion is concerned, it was an insightful session. I think it could be more insightful as I am from the scientific background, so I missed some of the points that could make it more insightful and thoughtful for all of us. But it was, as a whole, it was insightful learning session. It was more of the personal opinion rather than the scientific knowledge. and the personal opinion differ from the person to person. But I appreciate the people who contribute in the session and make it thoughtful for all of us to learn. It was an opportunity to listen to the other people's people's perspective, and being a research scholar in chemistry, I can relate to so many things which could be better to include. And being a scientist, there are some different perspectives that was getting into my head, and that were different from the things which were discussing into the panel discussion. There was a use of the word of the day savvy by some of the speaker. I don't remember his name, but that was used, and the time limit was into consideration, and questions could be. I think that the questions should be more off the point, to the point questions, and the answers should also be in the limit. But we were dragging more. Anyhow, it was good, and the few of suggestions that I personally can give to you is that we can, whenever we have to discuss or we have to go into panel discussion, we could go for the people who are more into the some specific field. Like if we are going to discuss some psychological perspective, so we will prefer to choose those people who are into the field.
Disconnected.
Yes.
Sumaya got disconnected. Maybe Toastmaster, yeah, she's back.
Sorry, because of internet connectivity, I was disconnected.
Yes, please continue. Toastmaster
Are you
Sumaya.
are you done, Toastmaster Sumaya?
I think she's lagging.
Oh,
We can
okay, she's
move on
struggling
to the next.
with audio. Okay.
We can move on and we'll take her feedback in the end.
Yeah, sure. I think we can move on now to Toastmaster Asghar to evaluate the recipe.
Thank you, DTM Talab. It is perhaps first time for me to appear this quantum Toastmaster meeting, and I used to read about quantum, a very small quality of electromagnetic energy, something like that. But believe me, they are not so small that I cannot see them. I can see from my naked eye the energy of these electromagnetic, and I unfortunately missed the first round, which is the most important round of this meeting. But then I witnessed two amazing speeches from Toastmaster Salman and Toastmaster Sumaya Batul. I thoroughly enjoyed, and I'm sure all of us enjoyed this. But what is important for me, what takes the cake, is the way you evaluated the speakers. This is a very unique way of doing so, and I don't know if I can deliver my speech next time, because I'm not a paid member of this particular club. Let me know if I can do it. But and then the unique style of DTM Iram Rizvi when it comes to the table topic session, it is unique in a way that we were all speaking and evaluating each other. This is totally unprecedented. That is how we learn effectively, when we, not only allow other people to evaluate us, but at the same time, we're also evaluating them. I don't know, it was an excuse to save the time for the evaluation from another person, but it was totally learning or full of learning. And well, I think that it is designed for a selected participant, perhaps. That is why we have participants who were experienced but who were already invited. this is it from my side, and I really don't know what was the duration of this meeting, but I thoroughly enjoyed. I just wanted to have a peek what is happening over there. Then I just stuck up over there and become an integral part of the meeting. I hope no one heard me anything to what I've said during the meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Toastmasters. So yeah, we are at the correct duration. We are right on schedule as far as the meeting is concerned. It is 2 hours 15 minutes at the standard length. Depending upon the agenda, of course, it may be 2 hours to 2 hours 15 minutes. And thanks to DTM Sir being the founding president and a strong participant in the club, we managed to always start in time. As far as your desire to make a speech here is concerned, that wish is granted because of the unholy alliance or what do you call that? A cartel between KTC, Wordwise, and Quantum Leap. That means that the members of these three clubs can participate into within these three clubs. And of course, that cartel is run by me. So any consideration that we wish to advance towards that cause should be directed towards me. So, no, don't take that seriously. I want to stay out of jail and I have to stay in Toastmasters. Yes, and the evaluation method actually is the invention of DTM Sudarshan. So he's also one of the charter members of this club. So he came up with this method and we have adopted this. In fact, this method was also used in KTC's advanced meetings when they were happening. So yes, we also find that this method works wonders. It's no coincidence that the national champion of public speaking is sitting right before us, and she belongs to Quantum Leap, and she also placed second in the 2023 contest. And why did she place second? Let's not go there because it will violate our self-imposed convention of not talking about sex, religion, and politics. Because if I'm allowed to expand upon what happened during that particular contest, I will poke all these three areas in order to justify, in order to explain what a person did to win that contest. But anyhow, let's not go there. Yeah. Oh, yes, CTM.
Can I quickly share the language evaluator report in a minute?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so thank you everyone. And because this is recorded, so we are doing it. So if anybody has missed, they can have a view. I love a lot of words were used, a lot of statements were used, which are beautiful. And what I like is that when we mix language with science, it always turn out to be very hilarious. So I like polarized the topic from consumers to innovators. The laziness is redefined. Sitting on the other side of the table, gamify the process. Grit is vital. Bombarded with sentences. Beautiful. These are very nicely used. A few places where we could get better is that how do you touch the water with foot? It could be that how does your foot splash the water? We can't just say no. Instead of this, we can say we can't just deny. And I like that a couple of people have used savvy, like DTM Saif and Sumaya has used it a few times. And many times we have used the word hi-fi, techie, expert. So instead of these, we can try putting in savvy. So over to you, DTM Talha.
Thank you so much. And what a wonderful meeting we have today. Although there was a curious phenomenon where many people left, I think sometimes there's a perfect storm of circumstances which causes such a thing, because usually DTM staff, Toastmaster Mubina, they are quite meticulous and they attend the whole meeting. And today we had lower number of guests as well, but overall the meeting was well attended most of the time. And so thank you for that. We have Toastmaster Salman, who is contributing valuably, and inshallah, we will have our icebreaker, Madam VP Education, please note, we'll have icebreaker from Toastmaster Awais in the next meeting. So, yeah. So it's great to see. And, you know, once a meeting starts, what matters is the people that are in the meeting rather than people that are not in the meeting. That is one of the things that our past district director, DTM Umair, used to say. No, actually, he used to be worried sick about why a meeting or session is not well attended. And I think I responded to him, once a session starts, you should worry about the people who are in the session rather than those who are not in the session. So as long as we are all there, we are deriving value. That's all that matters. And thank you so much for attending. To announce the results, today our best speaker once again goes to Toastmaster Salman Ibrahim. Congratulations. And this time you won on votes. So congratulations on that. Best evaluator goes to DTM Ilham Rizvi. Best modular evaluator goes to myself. Thank you, DTM Ilham, for putting me as one of the modular evaluators. And okay, and best table topics. Did we vote for best table topics? We did or we did not? We did not. So please vote, and please vote for at least two. Oh, I forgot to launch the phone. Please vote for at least two of your favorite speakers so that
Please don't
we
vote
can
for
have.
Zahra. Don't vote for Zahra, please, please. So just from the first three, please. I insist.
I mean, she was one who's speaking. So everyone, please vote quickly. The quicker you vote, sooner this meeting will end. And thanks to Toastmaster Asgar's mother-in-law, he is once again the table topics champion. Toastmaster Asgar, you are ungrateful. I mean, seriously. My mother-in-law has sadly passed away.
In
can
this
stop.
one
Yes.
particular area, yes.
Keep on giving. So your mother-in-law is responsible for more best speech victories and best table topic victories than I would care to mention. So yeah, see the good in everything. As I'm paraphrasing you here. No person is completely useless. Some people can be used as bad examples. So congratulations on that. I did not float the poll for best big three because there are too few participants. So I don't know. Maybe I'll float the poll on the club group, so that those who attended can weigh in. And with that, we bring this meeting to an end with sincere gratitude and appreciation for everyone. And yeah, so I would like to ask Toastmaster Salman and then Toastmaster Asgar and then Toastmaster Sumayya their comments on the meeting.
Well, thank you very much. It was a very educational and learning experience for me today, participating in the panel discussion and then speaking with a speech on purpose. The feedback was very good and very helpful. And the other sections, the table topics discussion was a bit of a challenge, but yeah, it was really good as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Salman. Thank you for your contribution, not only to this meeting, but to previous meetings as well. You are, mashallah, very valuable member, and we are so glad to have you. And Toastmaster Sumayya, your comments on you.
The theme of the meeting was interesting and it grasped my attention first. And my speech evaluation was good and it was different from what I received previously. From Quantum Leap, it is more enhanced and it is more elaborated. And to me, the most difficult part is the table topic session, and I'm struggling with it. And I don't know how I will overcome the nervousness and how I will be one day, inshallah, I will one day master table topic session. But right now, I'm struggling with it. But as a whole, I am learning from this experience and from the Quantum Leap specifically. I love the Quantum Leap methodology, what they are following. So as a whole, it was a good learning experience.
Thank you, Sumayya. Thank you so much. And what about you, Toastmasters? I know you've already given your opinion.
Yes,
about
yes,
meeting.
I think yes. I would like to rephrase them, but it is somewhat cliched even. This morning, in fact, my mother-in-law advised me not to attend this meeting and go somewhere. But It is my habit that to go to the opposite of what my mother-in-law said, and I won this morning as well. It was really a wonderful meeting I attended with unique format. What I liked this meeting, because I've been attending meeting for the last 5 to 6 years, but this is the only local club which I found it so unique, especially when it comes to the evaluation. I thoroughly enjoyed the evaluation. I found myself as a part of the speaker, two-time evaluator. It is all of a sudden, I appeared in the screen and became an integral part of the meeting, thanks to you, Toastmaster DTM Aram Rizvi, and all the participants to tolerate me, to invite me for this meeting. Good to see. Stay bliss.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Please feel free to participate in future meetings as well. It's the same day every week, every other week. On one Saturday, it's word-wise, and on the other Saturday, it's continuity. We were thinking about moving the timing to 10:30 to 12:30 rather than 11 to 1. So that's one of the considerations. We'll be taking votes from the members on that. So with that, we finally, really, this time for sure, bring the meeting to an end. And see you all next week. Okay, see you all in a next Toastmasters meeting, whenever that is. And of course, at Quantum. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Salman.